Hi there, I'm Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, December 20th, 2020. So, today I've been guided to talk about the astrology, the transits for this week. We definitely have some intensive ones, of course, because it is 2020 after all. And then I'm going to be doing a three-card reading for each of the 12 signs. So, tomorrow is going to be the winter solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere. So we have finally Saturn and Jupiter have moved into Aquarius. So they're both at 0 degrees. They'll be together. This is called the Christmas star because they actually are the closest in the sky that they've been for hundreds of years. It's really super powerful. And Saturn has a 29-year cycle. So that's why when you're 29 years old, you have what's called your Saturn return. And then when you're 58, 59, you have your second one. So Saturn hasn't been in Aquarius. It first went in last in 1991 to 1994. So you might want to think back about that period of your life and what was going on. That's the last time Saturn has been in Aquarius. And then Jupiter hasn't been in Aquarius since 2009. So it has a 12-year cycle. So and this is they come together. Saturn and Jupiter come together every 20 years. So Saturn is our rule maker, our decision maker, where we set our boundaries in our life, where the stop sign is. Saturn's like no, and Jupiter is like yes. It's beneficent. It is makes things bigger. It expands things. It brings knowledge and wisdom. So they start a 20-year cycle every time they're together. And this year is extra special because they're also starting a 200-year cycle of being in air signs. For the last 200 years, these two have been meeting up in earth signs. The previous 200 years, they were meeting up in fire signs. And then before that, they were meeting up in water. Before that, it was like 800 years ago, they were meeting up in air signs. So this is not only the start of a new 20-year cycle, it's the start of a new 200-year era, as it were. So what's Aquarius? Aquarius is above all humanity. It's the two squiggling lines together. So it's people vibing together. If you know an Aquarian, you probably know them to be very, they know everything. It's an air sign. They're very psychic. Aquarius is very psychic. It's the lover of the unique and the different too. Aquarians love things that don't fit in the box. It's air. You can't contain air well. And if you put helium in a balloon, what happens? It lifts you up. So it's a breath of fresh air, for one thing. Aquarius is also ruled by Uranus. So it is sudden, unexpected things. It's spiritual. It's technology in its highest vibration. So these are just sort of the themes that you might experience showing up with these two powerful outer slow moving planets coming together. They're at 0 degrees. So 0 degrees of any sign is the first degree of a sign, but it's also where we hold space for things. It's where there's a need to set boundaries. If you have any major planets in your personal astrology chart that's at 0 degrees, you have definitely come in to learn the lessons of setting boundaries. So that lesson seems to be super fired up this week because we have a number of things that are at 0 degrees. So Mercury, the planet of communication, is also at 0 degrees of Capricorn. Um, Juno, the planet that is the good wife, it represents a marriage partner often in a chart. The transiting Juno is at 0 degrees of Sag. So there's a powerful, and the sun tomorrow will be at 0 degrees of Capricorn, the first degree of Capricorn. So there's this new beginning kind of energy with all these zeros, not just with these outer planets, but new beginnings in relationships, new beginnings of illumination. So Jupiter and Saturn were in the last degrees of Capricorn along with Pluto all year long. And this is sort of the last heyday of um, patriarchal rule, where the people with power and money are the ones that are running the ship. With these outer planets moving into Aquarius, we're going to find over these next several years, especially, I mean, Jupiter will just be there for a year and then it'll go on to Pisces. But with Saturn there for 2.5 to 3 years, we will find legislation and rules made that really affect everyone in a positive way, that take into account all humanity. And I've been saying for many of these tapes that we didn't Saturn did dip into Aquarius earlier this year from March to July. That is when the Congress passed legislation to pay everyone that's paid taxes in America. And so were they able to agree on anything when these outer planets moved back into Capricorn? No. It wasn't until they moved back into Aquarius that now they've passed legislation as of today, um, to pay everybody again. It's not going to be as much as the last round, but I really believe there'll be probably more of those payments coming in early next year, given the fact that Saturn is going to be staying in Aquarius. And so the needs of humanity, the human beings, and what they need is going to be paramount, what's going to be important. And that there's going to be more tolerance of the unique and the different in our society. So those are the main themes that I see. Jupiter is also knowledge and our beliefs and what we love to learn. It's ruled by Sag, so it's the ninth house. It's like foreign travel, and it's also interesting to me. We found out this week that we've had Russia, a foreign power, do a cyber attack of a number of our government systems. And so this also is a Jupiter Aquarius thing, Jupiter and Saturn and Aquarius thing. So we may experience more of that kind of thing. And I think we're going to see a super advance and quickening of technology while these two outer planets are transiting Aquarius as well. All right, so Mercury at 0 degrees of Capricorn. So this is about, setting boundaries around what we say too and what we think. And Capricorn can be our stuff, what we hold on to. So there may be a revisit. I just feel like there's like a great awakening kind of happening this week. And I was feeling that for the last few weeks too, with just this difference between what we think and what we know. And there may be these great, I mean, with this Aquarius energy of sudden unexpected things, we almost all of a sudden may change what we thought to be true, change how we structure our lives too, because Saturn personally is how we structure our life, where we set up boundaries and structures and the laws and routines in our life. So there may be restructuring around how we form Aquarius relationships, of all kinds, like how I'm gonna just hang out with these kind of people. I'm shifting my friend circle. So those kind of themes can really show up. Aquarius rules the 11th house, and so this is like groups and others and networks. So you may find that you restructure who it is you're hanging out with, who you consider a friend may really change with the Saturn in Aquarius. And also the Jupiter in Aquarius, like groups that you thought were doing this, maybe you find out, oh, they're not. Um, they're doing this instead. So, yeah, I really feel like there's going to be a lot of shifting and changing. And there may be, like, again, sudden, unexpected things that may be disconcerting initially, but Uranus, as it shakes things up, and again, it rules Aquarius. That's why you can often never predict what an Aquarian's going to do. If you know someone that's Aquarian, like, oh my God, they did that. Well, I shouldn't be surprised because they always do the unexpected. So we may just find this sort of theme of the unexpected showing up in lots of different ways in our lives. Um, so another powerful player today, we had the moon cross Neptune, and Neptune is square the north and the south nodes. So there can be this um, two different things I see from that, this pull to spiritual truths and psychic things, but also nebulous and fuzzy thinking and not being able to see clearly. The moon illuminate, I see the moon and Neptune are the two most psychic planets of that we have. And so when they get close together, it emphasizes psychic things, intuitive things. So you may have had today, tonight when you're sleeping, just super vivid dreams that are revelatory or downloads of psychic information, or you can just feel extra delusional or extra out of it in terms of like just kind of spacey thinking, especially with these outer planets moving into air signs. It can make you be kind of spacey. And again, with all this zero holding space for, and just, it's weird. Everything, all these planets transitioning at the same time, it's just like this, okay, something's different. This all feels really weird. I don't know what to expect next. It'll take a while with these planets settling into new signs for us to go, oh, okay, this is what's happening. This is how I orient myself. This is how things are shifting and how they're different. Okay, another powerful player right now is Mars, which right now, as I record this, is at 22 degrees of Aries. It's been right on top of my natal moon, which is at 22 degrees of Aries. Mars is the god of war, right? Mars represents our ego, how we put things into motion, how we take action. And in Aries, moving forward now, it's gives us energy into things, but it also can turn up the volume around anger issues and things that you might be extra irritable, extra angry, extra frustrated, especially when Wednesday of this week, it will conjoin Eris at 23 degrees of Aries. Eris is the great awakener. She was the sister of Aries. Uh, and she was frontline on the battlefield, ready to protest, ready to stand up for her rights. So you get these two coming together. It's a volatile combination, and they're going to be squaring Pluto at 23 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto is death and transformation. So Wednesday of this week is really what I expect to be the gnarliest day. And again, we can feel things before and after. um, I'm a bit worried about this because also on Wednesday, the moon will cross over Aries and Aries, magnifying, intensifying this. So there can be like people going to war with each other, quite literally, or power struggles showing up in your life. Like there's been an issue, and this will be the third and final square that Mars has done with Pluto this year. It had a square with Pluto, I think it was around August 8th or 9th. It also squared up again in October around the 13th, I believe it was, when they were both retrograde, they squared up, and now this is the final square. So it's also like if there's been a power dynamic or control struggle going on since August, it should be resolved in like the final brouhaha, and it can be explosive is my feeling. It could show up in explosive energy in different ways on the planet, between individuals, between nations. I wonder if we're going to have a response to this Russian cyber attack. um, just There's already been the theme of protesting and people taking to the streets this year with Eris squaring Pluto for months and months, and they'll continue to be square. Eris and Pluto will be continue to be squared into next year. So this protest theme, but Mars will move into Taurus by January. So we'll have a liftoff of Mars being in Aries. So Taurus is a lot more chill, although Taurus can be stubborn. It's not as explosive in energy as Mars and Aries can be. So again, watch the people in your life that have anger issues and that haven't resolved their anger with that they've dealt with in this lifetime. They're going to be more apt. Anyone who hasn't done their own inner work is going to be apt to blame it on you if you're close to them in your life. That's just what I see happening in clients for 33 years of my practice and in my personal life, that when people don't work out their own woundedness, it becomes triggers that you may brush up against inadvertently, accidentally, or you don't know what may trigger someone to explode. And so when you heal your woundedness, you no longer have triggers. So, speaking of woundedness, Chiron, which represents the wounded healer. Now, Chiron in your natal chart will show up wherever it shows up is where you have experienced wounding in this lifetime, usually starting from childhood, but it's a carryover from places we've been, it's karmic wounding, places we've been wounded in past lives, places where we've wounded others in past life. Like there's karma is always what you put out, comes back to you. So wherever Chiron is in your natal chart will be an area where can be a weakness. Now, Chiron's glyph looks like a key. So once you do heal this area, and I believe that's what Chiron points to in your chart is the area to direct your healing. When you do direct your healing energies to this area and heal that, and you often may need help from others to do this. Mostly you do. Like I rarely see someone be able to heal something on their own. It almost always involves the help of others, whether that's you've got addiction and you get help from your sponsor in a 12-step group, or you get help in therapy or group therapies or healing modalities of all kinds. And often it can be layers and layers and layers that you need before something's healed. But once you do heal it, it becomes a place of great strength. So the transiting Chiron is where we're all being asked to heal something. Everybody that's alive and conscious on the planet. Doesn't mean everybody is, but it's the opportunity for all of us to heal. It is at 4 degrees of Aries right now. It's moving retrograde. I mean, it's moving direct since it was retrograde. It's been retrograde. As of last week, it started moving direct. So it's right now at 4 degrees of Aries. And this is like a breakdown, breakthrough. And it's at the beginning of Aries, it's really areas of how we felt wounded in as a person just showing up on the planet, maybe not feeling good enough or not feeling worthy. And so Chiron is helping us heal that. It's going to be moving to step 5 this week, Saturday. And step 5 rules our head. So it'll be, and it's already been at these degrees. It was retrograde. So it's sort of a check back in. Okay, now that you've healed this where you feel broken, and now you feel like you can accomplish things. Now you can feel where you didn't feel like you could do things. Now you can. When it goes to 5 on Saturday, it'll be like what you think about yourself. All right, that's right. We're going to have good, positive thoughts about ourselves now. We're going to move forward in a positive way in terms of how we think about ourselves. So that will be conjunct my sun, which is at 5 degrees of Aries. So these things have been hitting me personal, but I'll tell you, this year has been a year of great transformation for me personally. I've really done some fabulous inner work this year. So I'll always remember 2020 as a great year of personal transformation for me. And Mars, these 3 different conjunctions have been all around, squarings of Pluto have all been around my moon. So a lot about my inner, how I feel about myself, just give an example. So we also have together in the skies at 6 degrees Uranus and Black Lilith. So Uranus, again, is sudden unexpected things. It's a spiritual planet. So it tears things down. suddenly, unexpectedly, and it always replaces whatever it tears down, it replaces it with something better, and it doesn't usually take long. Black Lilith represents our deepest fears. And again, in your natal chart, Black Lilith represents deep seated fears that we bring with us from past lives that will show up early in this lifetime. And again, fears are false evidence appearing real. So fear is not something that's really going to happen, something you're afraid is going to happen, right? So you may be tested this week um, with your greatest fear. Oh my God. And it's in Taurus, 6 degrees of Taurus. Uranus and Black Lilith are in Taurus. So this is like fears about what your value or your money, quite literally, or your food, how you clothe yourself. This can be really primal fears that am I going to have enough to support myself? Am I going to be able to manifest what I need for myself in my life? These kind of fears can show up with this Black Lilith Uranus conjunction this week. That can just, again, if you feel yourself in the state of fear, try to stop, breathe, center, tune into higher self, tune into the divine, feel like you can turn it over to the divine. That's one of the best things to do when you have a fear or anxiety come up, is just, okay, am I safe at this moment? Is the world ending at this moment? Can I breathe deeply and turn it over? Um, okay, Venus is at 6 degrees of Sag. So it's quincux, this energy. So again, this can be a kind of a gnarly aspect to this 6 degrees of Uranus and Black Lilith combo. So you may have these fears come up specifically in your relationships or things or people that you love. It can be, oh my God, they're going to leave me. And especially with these zero, the Juno at zero and the sun tomorrow at zero and Saturn and Jupiter at zero, it's can just be this wonky, wow, what's happening? Am I in a time warp? Kind of where am I? What planet am I on? Kind of a feeling this week. It may nothing, you may just feel like you're kind of out of body too with these zeros. Like it's not a settled degree. It's initiation, it's new beginnings. So these are new cycles that are starting. Powerful news cycles is what I feel. So this intensity that I feel with the square off of Mars and Pluto Wednesday, it'll start ebbing by the end of this week. Um, Christmas Day, Mercury trines Uranus. So trine is usually a positive thing, but you might have someone just say something out of their mouth that's surprising at Christmas time. Um, the sun will be at step 4 Capricorn on Friday on Christmas Day. So that's a breakdown, breakthrough energy. So it can be a little bit of a gnarly Christmas, especially with whatever goes down on Wednesday. I feel like it's going to be something that's going to be obvious out in the world as well as showing up in our personal lives. And the sun that day is at step 2 Capricorn, which means everybody's going to be in their feelings too. So it's going to be like, shocking feelings is what I feel like. Um, Unbelievable. I can't believe it. That's just kind of like what I feel like this week. Like if I was going to encapsulate, I'm like, I can't believe it is what it feels like. Can't believe they finally did this. Can't believe they said that. Can't believe I can't believe I'm having to deal with this. Can't believe this happened. That's kind of what my feel is when I look at the chart this week. And like anything else, this too shall pass. The sun trines Uranus on Sunday, and the sun will be at step 6 Capricorn. So the sun will also be trining this fear. So we might actually have like a aha revelation around our deepest fears. Like that's what I would hope for everyone this week, that you like go, oh my God, I faced my fears and I realized they weren't real and they was able to overcome them. That would be like my prayer for the week, is that you move beyond something maybe that you've carried with you your whole life and been afraid of, a woundedness that you felt about yourself your whole life. Maybe that can be healed this week. That's the optimist in me, um, looking at this week. Um, yeah, of course, I'm always going to advocate for spiritual practices. The more you can meditate, the more centered you are, the more you can access your own higher self and your own inner direction. I believe everyone's psychic. So we all have an inner prompting that shows up different ways for different people that help us with what we need in our life. So I'm going to move on to the cards for each sign. I want to remind everybody that I'm offering a special during December on my psychic readings and other services as well. My psychic readings are usually $280 an hour or $70 for every 15 minutes. But for the month of December, they're $200 for an hour or $50 for every 15 minutes. So this is a great week if you want to gift someone else with a psychic reading from me for a Christmas present. Contact me. My email is bringoutthebuddha@gmail.com. So that's BRINGOUTTHEBUDDHA is my email at gmail.com. So you can email me to get in touch with me to set up a reading. And yeah, I also have past life regressions that I facilitate, and rebirthing, psychic development sessions, and house clearings. Last week, I also made videos about how I approach my psychic readings and what it's like, the difference between past life readings and past life regressions, rebirthing sessions and what those are, psychic development sessions. So you can check those out on my YouTube page. And I would also love it, if you haven't already, to subscribe to this YouTube page and share it with your friends. Let them know, hey, if you want to get a reading for yourself for Christmas, or in the wake of the new year, or if you want to gift someone else with one, this is a great week to do it. It's also, I'll be leaving my special up until January 31st. So you have till the end of this year to take advantage of my special pricing. Okay. All right, I'm going to start with Aries. And so I'm just going to do a 3-card spread of what the Aries, whether your sun or your moon or your rising is Aries, or if you have a stellium in Aries, what the cards are for you this week. This will include me, because I'm an Aries. I'm a triple Aries. My sun, my moon, and my Mercury, all in Aries. Next, I come across like a fireball. Aries are passionate. They're inspired. They can be impulsive. They can be argumentative. They can be hard-headed. They can think they know it all. They can they're the baby of the zodiac, so they can often feel victim. They feel the victim of the world. They can at the down end, and they can definitely be impulsively angry. They can also have a wonderful sunny disposition and make you laugh, make you want to be around them, because there's some sort of warm energy coming off of them. So let's see. All right. Okay. So the first card for recent past for the Aries is the receptivity card. So this is being open and receptive to downloads from spirit. This is the third eye opening. This is I see this card as the downloads and being receptive and being open to spiritual information coming in. So this is showing up in the recent past. So this is indicating that you may probably already have had some downloads from spirit. They may have showed up in your dreams. I feel like whenever we're being guided by our higher self to do something, it'll show up in a myriad of ways and will usually be confirmed in your environment in some way, form, or fashion. You'll get a dream about something, and then you'll see something on the TV that I just dreamt about that last night, or you'll get a flash about someone and then they'll call. There's like a confirmation. And when I'm seeking advice and guidance, I ask for my guides and for my higher self to show it to me 3 times, make it loud and clear so I can see it. So this indicates that there's already been some information that's been downloaded. You may be distrusting it, but you have received some gifts, some information already, and that you've been open to this. Something within you has opened to something new, is another thing I sense with the Aries. And the bridge right now you're in is the Master card. So accessing your higher self, plugging in, doing your spiritual work, listening to your higher self, um, being where you're just dispensing wisdom to others, that people are coming to you for advice and counsel, that you had a powerful, I'm seeing the moon above the master's head here, so that there may have been something super powerful here in this recent eclipse season that we had, that you had some big reveals around the eclipses. In the near future, I'm going to draw another card because I don't like to end it on a negative one, but it's the miser. The miser represents fear, and it's often fear around material things, fear around money. I'm afraid I don't have enough, financial fears. And so again, there's a light behind this person that's all walled off and shut down and clinging to their things. So there's definitely some bright energy coming around money and finances. There's just a fear that it won't, and that it won't get here soon enough, it won't be here quick enough. But there's a beautiful energy if you just relax. And this is definitely a call to breathe deeply and drop open. Go back to this receptivity energy when you're feeling the fear. And then this focus card is coming on. The intensity card is coming as that additional card with this fear. So when you find the fear coming up, what do you want in place of what you're afraid of? Even if you can entertain, like, I'm afraid I'm not going to have enough. Well, what's the opposite of not enough? Well, I'm abundantly blessed. I have more than I need that's coming in. So it's a call to change your focus from what you might be afraid of. I'm afraid he's going to break up with me, to I'm safe, and no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. That kind of energy. So that's what I see for the Aries. Move on to Taurus. Taurus, stubborn, the creative. I see so many creative, artistic, musical folks that are Taurus. Um, they usually love their how they dress themselves. They love food, clothing, decorations. Like you walk into a Taurus's home, you usually will feel super comfortable in their homes. Um, they can be very cautious and careful, so it may take them a while to warm up to things, and to people and to situations. They're super loyal. Once they do get to know you, once they say they're going to be there for you, they will be. Like Tauruses, if they say they're going to do something, they'll do it. They're an earth sign, so super grounded. Love to be outside, be in nature. Okay, so let's see what's going on with this Taurus. All righty. Recent past for the Taurus is this conditioning card. So the story behind this card is that the lion gets lost when it's a cub and falls in with a pack of sheep. So his whole life he's got sheep around him. And what are the sheep doing? They're eating and they're sleeping and there's pooping. That's about all. And the lion is restless and he's like looking around. Anybody want to go play? And no, nobody does. And he doesn't understand why he's so restless, and that nobody else seems to be bored at what life is doing. And until one day another lion spots him and he's like, dude, come here with me. And he takes him down and he sees this reflection in the water in a nearby water source. And he's like, ah, I'm a lion. He's not a sheep. And so this card shows up when you're in an environment that's not the right one for you. for whatever reason. It's where you live, your neighborhood, you need to move away, your work environment. These people don't get me. I'm not going to stay working here. My friendship circle, it can mean a relationship. This is not my person. These are not my people. And so this is showing up in the recent past. So it would have been a realization around this aspect for you that, oh, or feeling like it's time to make a change. This card represents you. It's very much like the MasterCard that just came out for the Aries. It's the Innocence card. It's the old grandfather that, come here, grasshopper, has something to offer, something to teach. So this is telling me that the Tauruses feel like they've learned something, they've accomplished something, they feel like they have something to offer the world, maybe something new that you're thinking about offering, maybe even a new series of paintings or music that you're writing, or something else creative that's coming, but that you feel more secure in your creativity, that you feel like you do have something to offer folks. So yeah, I'm really getting a draw to these purple flowers that are behind this old guy too. So there's some real beauty going on, some beautiful things in your life, I feel like, that are blooming and budding around creativity is what it feels like to me. Near future for the Taurus is the Adventure card. I love this card. So they're stepping into small child, is sort of like your inner child stepping into this rainbow. So it doesn't really, with this card, usually depicts not knowing what it is you're stepping into. You just know this is the way to go. Like, do I know what's going to be happening next week or next month with this? I don't, but I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm feeling called in this direction. This is definitely when the way you're going gets lit up and you see very clearly what you're supposed to be doing, or where you're supposed to be going, what decisions to make and how to make them. So that's very encouraging for the Tauruses. New adventures opening up for you guys. All righty, we'll be moving on to the Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. It rules the third house in astrology, and it's communication. It also rules siblings and neighbors. Gemini's the twins, so it can have the Jekyll Hyde thing going on. One day you're one way, one day you're another way. Geminis are ruled by Mercury, which rules the head. So Geminis can often be up in your head, just hard, like overthinking things and wanting to understand the why of everything, and chewing on something until it's cud before you let go of it in your mind. And if one of Geminis probably have the most difficult time at meditating because of this. That and Virgos are also ruled by Mercury, same thing. So finding a way to quiet that mind so that you can access your intuition, because if you stay stuck in your brain, in your programmed mind, you will not be able to access your intuition. So this is the biggest block for anybody for accessing the intuition, is to get out of the mind and feel into it. All right. Cool. All right, recent past for the Gemini's burden card. So this is like taking on weight, like this guy's carrying this other guy, just like, oh my God, just you could feel tired, and just like you may have gained weight. There may be like a physical thing that's going on here for you Geminis, or that you may be carrying the weight of someone else or being responsible for someone else. But it's like it's really almost brought you to your knees, as it feels like. The good news is here is the bridge, the place you are right now, which is the awareness card. This is where you have the aha moment, when you all of a sudden can see clearly, something breaks through and you go, oh, okay, this is how I'm supposed to be looking at it. Oh, that's what that means. Oh, this is who I am. Oh, this is what I'm doing here. It does feel like there's an opportunity to break through that dual mind and just see something clearly and get a full understanding of it. This can often be sort of the gift of the divine, sort of helping you see, um, giving you a vision, giving you a dream that's big, bringing it so loud and clear that you cannot mistake the message for you. Near future is this the same adventure card that came up for the Tauruses. So you too have a bright new future that you're heading into right around the bend here. Um, so again, if it feels right, if it lights up for you, it's the right path for you. If you have to keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, doesn't it may not be the right path for you. So pay attention to that when something just lights up and like you light up, you feel excited about something. That's the way, that's the direction, that's the person. All right. So move on to the cancers. Cancers, the crab, it's a water sign. It's a cardinal water sign. So it's like initiating, it's like crashing waves of water, thunderstorms. The Cancer can be. It's the crab. So it's got a hard shell on the outside, super soft on the inside. So um, Cancers will often be very cautious, much like the Taurus. When it comes to getting to know people, they can be super shy. Um, but when a Cancer lets their guard down, you can just see how sweet they are. They can be very loving and nurturing. It's ruled by the moon. It's they've got a very um, and by Venus, that they've got a very loving energy, nurture. They may love to cook. They make great moms, caretakers. Sometimes they can get into the codependency of caring for others too much, and they can be crabby, just like the crabs. Or they need space off to themselves to recharge. They need to crawl in their shell and go hide from the world for a while before they can operate. Yeah, they're also healers. Very often, Cancers end up being drawn to healing professions of all kinds. Definitely gonna have to draw another one there. Okay. Receptivity card, like the Aries in the recent past, receiving downloads of information, being willing to be open to new ways of looking at things, new ways of seeing things. And I see the water in this card too for the Cancer is like, oh, I finally got to soak in the tub. I finally got to go to the ocean, or I finally went and sat by the creek in my neighborhood. There's like some water reference, or I'm finally drinking more water. There's some sort of water connection, I feel like, too, with the Cancer with that card. And the change card is representing the Cancers right now. I see the yin yang in there in the middle of this card too right now. It's jumping out to me. The balance that there's always darkness and light. We never are just, it's always light, right? We need the sun to go down for us to get the rest at night. That there's a darkness before the dawn, that you maybe have been in a dark night of the soul, and it's a sign that the light is coming, that there is a breakthrough, there is change happening for you, even if you can't see how all the chips are going to fall or how everything is going to be in the end. You're in the middle of a transformational period and you don't know which way it's going. The way to go is to center yourself, to do spiritual practices, do meditation, to just ride the wave, ride the storm right now, until everything everything passes. In the near future is the clinging to the past card. So this is the blockhead. This is when you get stuck with the same o. Oh my God, this again, you're chewing on the same stuff. It may be, my sense is it may be mental reactions, that just programmed ways of thinking about things, that you get stuck in a pattern of thinking, and or karmic patterns. oh, I'm doing this again. I know better than this. Like it's something that you've already been chewing on for a while. It could be even like, oh, I'm just feel stuck in this relationship, and there they go doing this again. Um, the good news, I pulled the additional card with this one, is the participation card. And this is working with others to help shift this. So again, this may be someone who may be stuck with addiction issue and you decide you're going to get into recovery groups, and there'll be other there helping you change that, or you don't know how you're going to work out the plans, but that all comes together. Like there's a resolution of this struggle. I feel like it you may be calling up a number of different friends to get their advice. Like, okay, I'm stuck with this issue. What do you think about this? There's some sort of help coming from others about this problem that you're stuck with, that this repeated pattern, this karmic pattern, this stuff that you can't seem to put down. So there's relief and support in reaching out to others with that, Cancers. Righty, let's see. We have then the Leos are next. Let's see what's up for Leos this week. Leos is a fire sign. They love the stage. Often natural leaders. They can often be arrogant and think only of themselves. Um, they can also be the cuddly kitten. They can be the lion, the ferocious lion that can have a temper and be loud. They can literally have loud voices and you can always hear them talking. They can also be the flip side of seeing Leos that are like the sweet little kitty cats that just want to come up and crawl up in your lap. Um, but Leos can't do anything unless they feel passionate about it. They have to inspire passion. The Leo is not feeling passion, they're going to apt to be depressed. That's what I've seen with the good old Leos. All right, let's see what's happening in Leo's lives this week. All right, recent past is this same change card. So you have already been going through some changes, Leos. Something has shifted in your life in a big way. And again, this is Leo, sun, moon, and rising or stelliums. Or something has already begun to shift with the Leo energy. And you already feel like, okay, well, that's not happening anymore. You may, again, not know what's next coming, but you can know that whatever happening is right now is not going to stay the same. The compromise card represents you right now. So this is a situation when you feel like I am settling, I'm compromising myself. This is not what I want. You're getting like some pushback from the universe. You're looking at the reflection of your life and you're like, this is not what I want for my life. So it may be, you may be having a come to Jesus minute where you're like, oh my God, I can't keep doing this. This is not working for me, or this relationship's not working for me. I'm settling. This job isn't working for me. I'm compromising myself somehow, or I'm just not, this doesn't feel in integrity with myself. So this is the current right now. Near future is the Master card, which is stepping into your power, feeling like you have mastery over something instead of like, okay, this is not working for me. Stepping into the light in some way, stepping on stage in some way, um, getting some insight. Um, Again, this may come in your dreams or through a psychic channel. That there's information coming in from a divine source that will help you understand, shed light. I just feel like there's an illuminating moment coming for you in the near future where you're just like, oh, okay, I see, I get it. And then a centeredness in yourself as a result as well. Um, I also get the feeling that you may feel like you've been in the forest and you can't differentiate stuff, and things just feel cluttered in your world, and there may literally be clutter in your home or life. And so if that's the case, one of the best feng shui things you can do if you've got a cluttered mind is to clean up your space in some way, your living space around you. If you're living in clutter, your mind can be cluttered, right? So there's a need for some cleanup. I'm getting with the Leos, clean up something in your life. Literally, it may also be a cleanup of relationships in your life, that kind of thing too. All righty. So next we have the Virgos. Like the Geminis, ruled by Mercury, which means you have a predisposition to being up in your head, especially Virgo moons. It can be really hard to access feelings. You can have diarrhea mouth with a Virgo. You can just talk, 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 and not even take in the fact that you haven't asked the other person a question about them. So you might want to check yourself on that front. Virgos are attention to detail. They can see the flaw in something. They make great editors, organizers, um, but they can be perfectionistic. They can be too hard on themselves or other people, too critical. Stuck in the head. Again, you want to practice taking the head off and meditating or chanting or praying, getting quiet, getting still. Take a break from that mind. You'll feel better. Try to just tune into feelings. Do some breath work where you just put your attention on your breathing. All righty. All right. Possibilities card is showing up for Virgos in the recent past. So this is having some insight. It may have literally been traveling. It's something new opened up for you that you weren't expecting. It can be spiritually that you're in a journey too. That there's the sun that's rising recently. Something started recently. I'm really getting the higher perspective, like having an aha moment, having a realization, being able to pull away and look at your situation more objectively is what it feels like has happened in the recent past. And realizing that you have lots of potential. So it feels like that's a warming feeling. The card that's representing you right now is the courage card. So this is the flower that's growing out of a rock, making something happen. I always find it interesting that the word courage has the word rage in it, because sometimes it's getting mad enough that forces you into action for something. So courage often comes out of something making you super angry. And so but not always. It can just be, but this is like blooming where you're planted too, and like making the best of the situation that you're in right now. But it also feels like a deep breath and like some joy coming up for Virgos right now. New beginnings. There's definitely this theme of new beginnings, something new starting for the Virgos. Um, yeah. And it feels very sunny and very spiritual. And it may even be like you were literally doing some gardening outside with the flowers showing up too, or that you've recently bought someone flowers or you bought yourself flowers. Can literally be talking about the flowers as well. But I'm really seeing the courage card, that you have somehow tapped into some courage in your current situation. The near future card is the ripeness card, which is like things coming to fruition. It's time to pick the fruit and eat it. That the timing is like you've been waiting for something, for the right time for something that's right around the bend, right in the near future. It's like, okay, it's finally time. A new beginning. Yeah, there's this theme of something new started with the Virgos. Um, and that the timing is finally going to be happening. Like, finally, I get to pick the fruit off this tree. Finally, something happens, is what it feels like. Finally, I can just hear that word, finally. And there's definitely a new beginning energy. The new moon is here in this tarot card too. So there's like, yeah, the seeds of a new beginning, um, as well as things coming to fruition. So it feels like it may be both. It may be in something ending and something new beginning. I'm getting, um, and this feels like personal though, like something you are, like, again with that courage card, that you have had the courage to initiate yourself, that you believed in yourself enough to do something. Anyway, looks like some powerful stuff there, Virgos. All right, next is Libra. Libra is an air sign. It's the scales. Libras definitely have a predisposition to go, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. It could take them forever to make a decision about things. They're also natural counselors. People will come to them to get their feedback, because they can often give both sides of an issue, be able to look at what both sides look like. It's justice, it's fairness. They're an air sign as well, so they can be, leave their bodies, be kind of spacey sometimes. And Libras are usually not really good with timing. They get there when they feel like it. Libras are very psychic, intuitive. All right. Often I see a lot of Libra can often have a beauty, and it's ruled by Venus. So Libras can often have they look beautiful. They've got, yeah, I haven't seen many ugly Libras for what that's worth. Appearances fade as we get older, whatever the appearances are. It's all about the spirit when you break it down. That's the part we get to take with us, not the physical body. We cross over into the next lifetime. All right. Recent past for the Libras is the dream card. So this card depicts this woman who could sit there and she can sense the potential of a relationship she's in. Like, oh my God, it's the relationship of my dreams. The problem is she's sitting here by herself and she's not experiencing that full potential. So this card shows up so many times in relationships when people, with psychic people, as Libras are, who can sense the potential of the person that they're with. The problem is they aren't receiving that from the person. They stay and they hook in because they can see, oh my God, this person can be so fabulous. The question is, what are they today? How are they doing right now today? And this is showing up in the recent past. So this would have been having the experience of being in a relationship where you're not getting what the highest potential that you can see in the relationship. In fact, this person's sitting here alone. So you may be literally experiencing time where you're alone. It also could be someone who's thinking about the ideal dream and they don't have it. They haven't manifested it yet. They're still sitting by themselves working on manifesting the dream, whatever, whether it's a relationship or something else. So there's definitely this feeling of having been alone, even if you're in a relationship, um, and thinking about what you want for your life, thinking about what it would look like and feel like if you were to manifest uh, what your heart desires. This is the bridge that's crossing the Fool card, which doesn't mean you're a fool. It means when you feel right about something, you jump in fully. So there's something like right now that you're jumping in fully about, that you have to initiate in some way, that you're going to do it and you're going to do it full on. I started this. I said I would do it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to just do it full on. So it's bringing all of yourself to something. and feeling very good about it yourself, feeling intuitively clear about it, even if everybody else thinks you're cray cray, you're doing this and it feels awesome. And the near future is this innocence card again, which again is dispensing wisdom, advice, counsel, um, having people come to you, um, and feeling like you actually have something to say, that you've learned something of measure, of value that you have to offer the the world. I'm also seeing the grasshopper on the hand, so it's also like stopping to take stock of the little things. What can you be appreciative of? The little things in your life. And stopping to take account of everything you've learned so far. Like, where are you in your life? Can you stop and say, oh, wow, like I've really grown this year. I've really accomplished something internally this year. I feel like it maybe Libras maybe haven't stopped to assess and realize, oh, okay, I'm doing better than I feel. And just because I don't have a partner or I don't have the person treating me the way I want to, doesn't mean it's a negative reflection on me. I'm going to know what I'm worth. I'm going to value myself. And then I know if I value myself, I will find people who value me. That kind of energy is what I'm seeing with the Libras. Okay. And then we have Scorpio. They're the only ones that have three different avatars, as it were, for their sign. The Scorpion, which is like, don't mess with the Scorpion. They have that tail and they can sting you. Um, but then there's also the Phoenix that represents the Scorpio. So it's death and transformation. And then the third one is the eagle, which is flying high and have the spiritual perspective on things. So scorpions can be super deep. It's the deep dark waters. And as a water sign, they're the best secret keepers of the zodiac. Um, they can keep secrets from you, but they can also keep your secrets for you too. It can go both ways. They're super passionate. Scorpio is the eighth house, and so it's also the house of sex. So that's just why that a lot of Scorpios can be really great lovers. A lot of people are afraid of Scorpios because Scorpio is also death and transformation, that Phoenix energy. They can often transform your life, transform the lives of others. Okay, for the Scorpio, the healing card is represent the recent past. So may have literally been sick and needed to get rest or heal yourself. This also can be psychological healing, like you may have been getting some counseling, you may have been going to someone who's doing Reiki or getting a massage or acupuncture, where you're literally deciding, I'm going to get some healing work on this. I need to heal this. It's a realization of needing healing in the recent past at the very least, but you may have definitely gone and laid on the tables and let someone else help you heal. It's definitely allowing, and it's a call for getting help and healing from others. I'm seeing the two hands is coming from two hands coming from others that are laying hands on you. So this is recent past. So this is um the Scorpio allowing others to heal them. That's big too from Scorpios, because they're also very protective of themselves. So if they open up to you, that's a big deal. They can also often keep it on lockdown. And then you implode with the stuff that you haven't processed. So when you allow yourself to be open for healing, whether that's talk therapy or healing modalities, like I discussed, then you allow that stuff to leave your body instead of imploding and turning into a dis-ease like cancer. And I'm a big believer in Louise Hay's work. And Louise Hay, if you don't know who she was, she's like the grandmother of metaphysics. And her best book that she wrote is called You Can Heal Your Life. And she healed herself from cancer in the book, She tells her story, but she also has a listing of all diseases that you can have, the probable cause, and then an affirmation that you can say. And she's so right on with it. Like, for example, cancer is long held resentment. And then where it shows up, like in the breast, it'd be breast cancer would be resentment about not receiving nurturing. Um, cervical cancer could be resentment around being sexually abused or assaulted. Those are just examples. Um, Sinus problems can be irritation to people close to you or near you. That's just fascinating. So that's Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And then she has a little, that is in her book, but she also has Heal Your Body, which is just the diseases and the probable causes and the affirmations you can say. So I recommend that to everyone, but apparently the Scorpios need it. The adventure card, again, stepping into an energy that feels right at the moment, and you don't know necessarily where it's going to be taking you, but you feel like, nope, this is the way I'm going to do. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it this way. You may be literally traveling or on an adventure right now, like away from home, and you're not sure what each day is going to be bringing. But it's going to be good. You're going to go see some lights. There's some colors. There's some beautiful things coming. This feels right. This is exactly where I feel like you feel like you are where you should be right now. Like that, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. Near future for the Scorpios is this Fool card, jumping in fully to something like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this thing. I'm going to do this routine for myself. I'm going to jump into this healing work. I'm going to ask that person to marry me. I'm going to it's just, and it feels, I'm just getting this joy too, like this happiness, this sense of relief from feeling confined. Like, okay, finally I can go do something, or I found where I can go hike and there's no people, so I don't have to wear a mask. There's something liberating happening in the near future for the Scorpios. This talking is making me thirsty. All righty. And next, we have the Sagittarius, fire sign. Sag rules the 9th house, and it's higher knowledge. Like if you're going to get extra initials after your name, you get that master's, you're going to get that PhD, you're going to get that RN. That often falls under the Sag energy. Sages love to learn, love to read, love people of all kinds. It's foreign travel. Love, they can open mouth, insert foot. The Sages I know can also be kind of diarrhea of the mouth, much like the Virgos can be. They love people. Sages light up around people. I also have seen it be the least monogamous sign of the zodiac. Scorpios can have a bad habit with that too. I'm always saying that, like, if you want to be poly. Don't try to be monogamous if you're not. If you want to have several lovers, rock that and let everybody know that that's what you're rocking. Don't say, yes, I will commit to you, and then not be able to pull it off. So there's lots of people out there that feel happy, joyous, and free by just deciding that they are going to love lots of different people and not just one. It's not to say that Sagittarius can't be monogamous. They can. And you really have to look at your whole chart to understand, like, just your sun sign alone does not reveal to you the whole story. That's why I think it's so important to look at people's charts and see where your sun is, where your moon is, where your rising is. What other planets? Where are your other planets? That's how you get a better sense of yourself, for sure. But let's see what's going on in Sag land. All right, the Patience card is coming in the recent past. So this is a pregnant woman who's been waiting. So you may literally have had a baby, or you may be pregnant, Sagittarius, or been waiting to get pregnant, waiting for something that takes 9 months to pass. We've been in lockdown now for 9 months. So it may just be feeling like your life has been different over this last 9 months because of the lockdown. Um, or you're beginning a process that you have to be patient with yourself in some way. So this is recent past. Right now is the moment to moment card. I love this card. This is about getting clear about what you need right now. What this moment do I feel guided to do? And I think it's a great question for everyone to ask themselves every morning. What today do I feel guided to do? Because we can get really caught up in fears or concerns for the future. We can get caught up in replaying the wreckage of the past. The freest thing to do is to be in the moment right now. What today, right now, what this moment do I feel guided to do? What can I do this moment to make myself feel loved, to make myself feel joyful, to make myself feel free, to make myself feel abundant? What can I do right now to open up to the greatness that's there in the universe? I'm also getting that there's something that Scorpios may be, I mean, Sages, I'm on Sag. Sages may be building or constructing. You may literally be building a house or working on plans to, or plans to design something or build something. There's something about building. You may be getting building blocks for a child in your life. I'm not sure, but there's something about building for the Sag. Near future is the change card. So whatever is happening now, if the situation that you desire change, it is happening for you. You're not stuck. You're not, even though you may have been waiting, this patience card, you maybe have been waiting years for someone to come along. That pattern is shifting and changing. Whatever things have been, the future looks different than what the past looks. It's a different future. So today's the day to set the causes for what you want for the future. So get into that affirmation mode, get into the gratitude. You can thank the universe for the things that haven't even shown up yet. Thank you so much for bringing me my divine right partner. So appreciate it. That kind of energy. Thank you so much, universe, for bringing me to my divine right job. But there's a powerful change afoot in the near future, bringing positive changes, and that your life is not going to look like it's looked before. You're heading into a new phase, a new beginning. And so set the intentions now of what you want this new phase, this new chapter to be about. The old is done. That's an old story. There's a new story beginning. All right. Now we killed the Capricorns, earth sign, natural leaders, also hard-headed, capable. There's been more presidents that have been Capricorns than any other sign of the zodiac. They will often be the leaders of whatever group, or leader of the gang. They're hardworking, usually. Yeah. I think any sign can be, I was feeling like it could be just workaholic kind of energy is what it feels like with the Capricorn energy. They can just really want to always be working, or if they're not working, they feel out of sorts, out of groove, out of rhythm. So they'll they need a project. Like it feels like you need a project, so that you can be constructing something that's important. All right. Recent past for the Capricorn is rebirth card. So this card is interesting. It starts off with the what is this? Camel. The camels store energy, right? They carry their beast of burden, right? They're carrying things, and they don't move very fast. They like to sit around a lot when you're not forcing them to carry your stuff. So this is an evolution of being where you were stuck in something, right? What comes out of the camel is this lion. The lion, again, sometimes it's what pisses you off that makes you get in motion about something. All right, I'm going to take some action. But action often can come up with a sense of rage, anger. That energy then can be purified into this childlike, musical, beautiful spiritual energy. So you got in motion. Okay, now let me bring spirit into it. So the rebirth is like you've gone through an evolution of changes, of you've been stuck, and then you got something made you angry and you got in motion, and then now you're being, it feels like have had a spiritual call recently, like I've got to get help from the divine here. um and that you've experienced a rebirth where you have access to your spiritual nature, your inner voice, your inner child in a positive way, and brought that out. The laziness card is coming up right now. The laziness doesn't always mean laziness. I find this is one of my cards in the deck that the word doesn't always mean that you're lazy. It can often mean that you feel frozen or that you feel stuck. It can mean that you're lazy right now and you just don't want to do something for whatever it is. You feel stuck and you either can't do what you want to do or you don't want to, like right now, whether it's you physically can't do it, or you just mentally can't do it, emotionally can't do it, or you're just taking a break. Because sometimes the laziness with your hardworking self can be good, to take a break and just chill, but you may have difficulty just sitting still and it may feel weird and you may feel like there's something wrong with me. At any rate, it feels like you're not your normal self right now. But it's temporary. Whatever space you're in now is temporary. Near future, this innocence guy, this is the third time he's come up today. Wisdom to offer, insight. And you may also, I'm getting this with the Capricorn, that you may actually be seeking wisdom or advice from someone else in this case, and not dispensing it yourself. Like, I need to go get help. I need to see a doctor. I need to ask this person's what they think about this, or I need to get some insight from someone else. That's what I'm getting this time around for the Capricorn, is actually seeking out. You may be getting a lawyer to help you with something, but it's someone else who has wisdom. I'm getting for the Capricorn in the near future. Not that you don't have it to dispense, but that you're seeking that from someone else. Is what I'm getting right now with this card. And that's the thing about when I'm channeling with cards, the card can come up several different times and mean different things because it's what I'm getting in the moment. So I'm not a tarot reader. I don't use a traditional deck of tarot cards. In fact, this deck is the Osho Zen tarot deck. It's a non-traditional deck. If you know about tarot, you would know that from the pictures I'm showing, that it's not the normal deck, but I'm not your normal psychic either. I'm a spiritual gal. I approach my work from a spiritual place, and I let myself be guided by the information that's coming through in the moment, which can change as the change cards on the bottom of the deck as I say that. All right, we're going to move on to the Aquarians. Air sign, the vibey lines that vibe well. They can be aloof, off by themselves. They can bring the sun unexpected things. You don't know what they're going to be doing next. They, like I had said earlier, they often think they know it all. But they're also innovative and creative in unique ways, and they think outside the box, and they usually have circles of friends that are very eclectic, and not one is like the other. All right, Aquarians, recent past, silence card. So this is a call to spiritual practices. It's getting insights in your dreams. It's definitely connecting with spirit. It's the silence card in the recent past. So it would be opening up to listening to your higher self, listening to higher guidance, downloads, revelations, like committing to spiritual practices, and actually doing them, and not just saying I need to, but that you actually have been doing them. That's what I see for the recent past. Right now is the guidance card, which is listening to your own intuition, listen to your own higher guidance. And again, your own intuition, the guidance will very often be confirmed externally as well, but it's really getting promptings about something. And I feel like it may be promptings about a change in direction, either a shift in your relationship, shift in what you're doing, shift in how you're approaching something. You're being called to do something in a different way, a shift in something. Again, if you keep diving into the meditation, the praying, the chanting, clearing out the brain, and I know it all, and be willing to not know and be guided instead, that guidance can come from your own higher self. You will not be disappointed by following guidance. Our own guidance is our GPS system. If we listen to and follow our own guidance, it is the way to go forward in our lives. It'll show us the right path. And again, the right path will light up. The success card is showing in the near future for the Aquarian. So this tiger is on the globe. So it can be a connection with someone that's a foreign, international. It can literally mean international travel. It can literally mean success with whatever you're working on right now, getting the promotion, getting the raise, getting the job you applied for. Yay! You can be grateful, completing the schooling. But it's a happy celebratory time, and also a time where you can feel empowered, um, and to move in the direction that you want to be moving in. So, especially after this is following the guidance card, that right now you're being guided to a shift. That's another thing too, is like when you have the courage to act on your intuition and you see a positive result, it's reinforcing. Whereas we usually know after the fact, when we've overridden our intuition, like you'll get a hit and you won't listen to it, you'll rationalize it away, and then later you'll go, see, I knew I shouldn't have done that, or I knew I should have gone to that. So this is a situation where you follow your inner voice, you follow your guidance, and you get the proof of the pudding. Yay! I'm so glad I listened to myself. That's what's going on for the Aquarian. And last, but certainly not least, the Pisces. Also a water sign, the slippery fish, very spiritual, often connected to past life stuff. They are also natural counselors. It's the mist of water, the clouds, the light rain. Pisces can be flaky because of the slippery fish thing. They want to feel their way through. Psychics, Pisces. I can talk, really. I can. Pisces can also be very psychic. So and they can be super sensitive. I see Pisces as the wounded healer, much like Chiron, that they often go through wounding in their childhood and become healers. I see a lot of, especially counselors, I see as Pisces, and other healing modalities as well. The Pisces are drawn to healing, helping the whole planet. All right. Recent past for the Pisces is the completion card, which is, it can be like, oh yeah, getting that last piece of the puzzle. Now I can see clearly. It can literally mean completion, that you've finished something came to fruition. You could have been finished with a relationship F them. I'm not having anything to do with them anymore. You've completed a task, completed a job, completed a project you started. There's definitely the energy of recently completing something. Right now is the schizophrenia card. So this does not mean you're crazy. I see this card shows up when someone feels torn down the middle. They feel split apart. Um, it often happens when people feel like they need to do a different path and when they're on, they need to separate from a relationship. They literally need to move. Um, they have to be away from someone that they love. They have to make a decision and they're torn between it. That's the energy that, that they're holding on by a thread kind of thing can happen with the schizophrenia card. Um, so it's can be a dicey time where you don't really feel good. What do you do when you don't feel good? You turn it over to spirit, which in the near future is the creator card. This is a completely different energy. This is someone who is sitting down, accessing their higher self, accessing the infinite power that we all possess, um, bringing that light out, getting not only inspired yourself, but inspiring others, manifesting, making happen. The creator card can make happen whatever they want to have happen. To create something, you believe in it, you see it, you speak it, you make it happen, you take action towards it. That's creating something. So it feels like you may have been on the fence about something and then you just get clear about, "Oh, okay, this is how I resolve this. This is how I choose the one side over the other. I know I feel more empowered when I do this. I'm going to do this. I can't feel torn down the middle anymore. I have to meditate every day. I can't get away with it. I have to chant every day, whatever it is." It's like definitely plugging into your spiritual power and feeling whole and complete. Very opposite energy from the schizophrenia card. So that's what I have for all 12 signs. So thank you for your long attention. If you're still listening, I'm impressed. Been going here for a while now. So um, another kind of challenging week. Be careful. Listen to your intuition for sure, especially with this Mars Pluto square in the middle of the week. Mars and Eris and the moon squaring Pluto. It can be very intensive. It'll show up, I guarantee, in some way, form, or fashion in your life. So breathe deeply. Don't be afraid of it. No, it's just a temporary thing that's going to shift, but access your own inner voice, your own inner guidance about how to move through it, and you'll be fine. All right. Peace.